Hey there YouTube, my name is Alexander Lewis. I've been a semi-professional photographer for the last 3 years, and I know I've definitely made some costly mistakes when I was first starting out. I want to help others avoid the same costly fate. Welcome to the first video in my tutorial series about DSLR camera basics. This series is meant for newcomers to digital cameras, photography, or videography. This is useful even if you use a smartphone instead of a digital camera. Today I'll introduce you to the basic terminology of camera operation: exposure, aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. For more videos like this, don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the little notification bell so you will be the first to know whenever I upload a new video. More tutorials like this can be found on my blog, and if you'd like to learn more about me, either go on my website or click any of the links in the description down below. Now let's start off with something simple. What the heck does DSLR even mean? DSLR stands for Digital Single Lens Reflex. It's just a fancy way of saying that the camera takes photos using a single lens reflex mechanism. So how does this complicated camera work? Quite simply, a camera captures light. Cameras also sense darkness and color. Light travels through the lens opening or aperture, and after you hit the shutter, the mirror goes up, revealing the digital sensor. The light hits the sensor, and the camera captures it as a digital image. And the amount of light hitting the sensor affects the camera's exposure. But what does exposure mean? Exposure is simply a measure of how light or dark your image is. An image that is too dark is called underexposed, while an image that's too light is overexposed. An image that is not too dark or not too light is said to be properly exposed. Just remember that sometimes you might want to overexpose or underexpose an image as part of your artistic choice as a photographer. Sometimes we need to break rules. But you might be asking yourself, how do we create a properly exposed image using our camera? You can use the auto mode in your camera, but this can cause some issues like motion blur, digital grain, or focus issues. To truly master your camera, you need to understand how your image is affected by 3 settings: aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. Understanding how to change these settings in relation to the lighting in your scene will help you become a better photographer. As I mentioned, an aperture is an opening that lets light in through the lens and onto the digital sensor. The larger the opening, the more light hits the sensor, resulting in a brighter image. In photography, the f-stop or f number represents the size of the aperture. The scale goes all the way to f1 up to f22 and can be a little bit tricky. The smaller the number, the larger the opening and more light hits the sensor. The larger the number, the smaller the opening, so less light hits the sensor. So it's a little bit reversed. Lenses can also have varying apertures. A lens with a constant 5.6 aperture can never have a larger aperture like 2.8 or 1, and you can't change this in the settings in your camera. This is typically why lenses with larger apertures like 1.8 or 2.8 are really expensive. Aperture also affects your depth of field, or how much of your scene is in focus. The wider or larger the aperture, the lower the depth of field, so less of your scene is in focus. The smaller the aperture, the wider the depth of field, so more of your scene is in focus. So how can you make a scene brighter if you're limited by a high aperture? You can do that by changing the shutter speed. A camera's shutter speed affects how fast the curtain brings up the mirror and for how long to let in the light. The slower the shutter speed, the longer the curtain is open, so more light hits the sensor. The faster the shutter speed, the less time the curtain is open, so less light hits the sensor. Shutter speed is shown on the camera as a fraction of a second. So a shutter speed of 160 is 1/60th of a second. A faster shutter speed allows you to freeze motion, while a slower shutter speed creates motion blur. If your shutter speed is too low and your camera or lens doesn't have image stabilization, your movement when taking the photo at a shutter speed that's too low might cause unwanted motion blur. A good recommended shutter speed is 1/60th of a second or 1/125th of a second, but this also is subjective to how fast your subject is moving. But if changing these settings is not enough, what can you do then? What you can do is you can change your camera's ISO. ISO represents your camera sensor's sensitivity to light. Cameras use this to compensate for different lighting condition in different scenes. The lower your ISO, the darker in the image. The higher your ISO, the brighter the image. This is another way that you can change your exposure. There are some caveats to this though, because ISO changes exposure digitally. Higher ISO leads to digital noise or digital grain. The amount of noise depends on your camera's digital processor, with higher end cameras being able to take pictures at higher ISOs with less digital grain. ISO on entry-level cameras like the Canon Rebel series should stay below 1600 and the ISO set. For more mid-range cameras, like a full-frame camera, it should stay below 6400 if possible. And more expensive cameras can handle ISOs above 12,000 and more. ISO is meant to be used in situations where decreasing the shutter speed or increasing the apertures is not possible in order to create a properly exposed image. So all in all, this lesson can be summarized with this graphic, the exposure triangle. It represents the relationship between aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. Finding the balance between these settings in order to create the image you want to create takes time and practice. So go out there and start snapping those photos. So once again, my name is Alexander Lewis. Let me know what you thought of the video and hit that like button if you enjoyed it. I'll be creating more videos for this tutorial series in order to help newcomers to photography and videography. I'd love to get your feedback, so drop a comment down below. And definitely give me a suggestion on what you'd like to be exposed to in the next lesson. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and hit the little bell so you can be notified first whenever I upload a new video. For more tutorials, go to my blog right here. For more about me, you can either go to my website right here or click any of the links in the description down below. Until next time, до свидания, YouTube.